Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today, we got a very special episode as I got my buddy Kelvin Hector from my school at SAIT. Today, we're going to be doing a very special episode because not that long ago, the NHL released the reverse retro jerseys, and they look absolutely sick. But before we get into that, if you are new to the channel, make sure to slap that subscribe button. And if you are already a subscriber, make sure to hit that like button. And if you are new, also hit that like button as well. It's very much appreciated. So, Kelvin, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing just fine. Long day of reporting at school, but that's behind me, and we're talking hockey now, so it's a good time.
It is a very, very good time. So, I seen that Blasty has returned. What is your reaction about that?
Holy crap! It's been I don't know when they retired in like 2007 or something, so almost like around 15 years since we've had Blasty, and it's so nice to have it back as a jersey choice. I just love the black. I love the logo. It's different. Like you always will recognize the flaming C wherever you go, but Blasty, he's a thing of his own, and it's just a great color scheme. The striping is nice and sleek. It doesn't take up too much attention away from Blasty because Blasty is the centerpiece.
Yeah, it
It is
is.
the
It
logo
it
itself.
really is.
You can't beat this. Like it's a scary looking logo too.
It is. It is a very scary looking logo, and of course, the Edmonton Oilers also came out with their retro jersey. A lot of people loved them. A lot of people hated them, but that's the same with every jersey that has came out. I mean, we all have our different fashion designs. I absolutely love the new Edmonton Oilers jersey. It brings back that WHA feel. Now, I do feel that they could have done a little bit more to the logo. Like me and you were talking off the show with the oil drop. Maybe they should have brought that back. But I think what they should have done is did the exact same thing as what we did with the alternate last year, do a pure orange logo. I think it would have fit that jersey pretty good. I think it would have looked amazing on the jersey. And what's your thought as a Flames fan looking at the Oilers jersey?
A lot of what you said, I have very similar opinions on. I can't hate on it. It's a nice looking jersey. I definitely like the orange on the top, and it's a nice shade of orange. It isn't like their current ones where it's just kind of like super bright, blinding your eyes
I
orange.
like the jersey. Looks
I am not
amazing.
a fan. Not a fan of that style. So seeing what they've done with these road whites in a reverse retro style, it's a good play. And I think you're right. They could have maybe done a reverse color scheme of the Oilers logo and maybe made the lettering and the border orange and then the actual oil drop blue. I think that would have been a cool little.
I think it would have been really cool. And you know what? I love the Blasty logo as well. I think it brings back what you guys, as you guys can see on the background now, Jerome McGlynn, that brings back that kind of retro feel for the team, which is going to be really nice jumping into this next year. But out of the two teams for the Oilers and the Flames, who else did you like from the Pacific Division for jersey wise? Who's your
Well,
favorite and who do you hate the most out of every one of those teams?
that's such a tough question to ask because there's a lot it's a tie. Like I really like what the Sharks did with their
Mhm.
jerseys, including the gray and the teal without it being overkill and even throwing a bit of black into there.
Mhm.
But I'm also really this might be a very unpopular opinion, but I'm really digging those Coyotes purple jerseys. Like I mean, purple and orange go together so well. Like I've always loved those two colors. Like orange specifically is a big color for me. And throw a little purple in there. I mean, a lot of purple in this case.
Yeah.
It looks natural though. It doesn't look like it was forced. And the orange at the bottom of the sleeves, the orange to the logo, I like it. I think Phoenix or sorry Arizona, they're they're definitely probably one of my favorites in the Pacific.
Who do you dislike the most? Like which jersey had like the worst design out of all the Pacific ones?
Oh, I hate on the Canucks, but it's a close tie because as much people that are saying they love the Kings jerseys, I'm actually not a fan. I
Oh,
I like
really?
I like the logo. I love that Kings logo. I just don't like what they did with the colors. I don't like how low the numbers are on the sleeves. That's a big thing to me. Like anything that's below the elbow, it just looks unnatural to me. And especially
Mhm.
adding that striping there, it's not, to me, not a great jersey. But I still dislike the Canucks ones more because it's it looks like you can get it at a bargain bin at like a Value Village. It doesn't look like, something that the players would actually like wearing, and I don't think it'll last too long in Vancouver.
I agree with you too on the Vancouver Canucks one because honestly, like looking at the jersey, it's like you had so much potential. Like you had like the old ones with like the circle, like kind of like the skates flying through and stuff like that. You had that. And I know they were kind of going for their nowadays look mixed in with their when they were doing like really dark blue and red, but that doesn't fit too well. I think if they were to go to the dark red and the dark blue, it would have looked a lot better. Definitely one of my most disliked jerseys. But you know what? I did like the LA jersey. I like the color. It kind of brings back that like that purple era with Marcel Donnie and Wayne Gretzky, right? It kind of brings back those types of days. So I do like the jersey. And the San Jose Sharks one is a close one as well because I do like that retro look, kind of gives it like that Patrick Marleau, Evgeny Nabokov kind of feeling to it. So I definitely do like the San Jose Sharks. On to the Central though. What's your favorite out of that, and which jersey do you also dislike in that division as well?
This is so hard as like a fan of jerseys in general because there's a lot that I would buy for sure.
Oh,
Uh,
I feel ya.
and it's funny because I was watching Jay and Dan was just like hating so hard on the St. Louis Blues jersey.
What?
He's like it was ugly back when it was an actual jersey and it's uglier now, and I'm like, honestly, I like what they did. The St. Louis one definitely stands out as one of my more favorites in the Central. And surprisingly, I do love the Winnipeg Jets jersey. I don't know why fans are so upset with it. Yeah, they could have gone with a different color scheme and made it more like the original jerseys from even when they played in the WHA or when they first came in the NHL. Well, they went with the logo at least. They went with the original logo, so that's a check mark in my book. And then I just think that going in a different direction with color wise, it makes it a new jersey, but with a throwback twist to it, exactly like what the reverse retro is supposed to be. And I like those colors. I think they belong on a hockey jersey. There's not too many teams that kind of go with the grayer jersey. And I just think the lining on it looks sleek. The numbers are in a good place for me. The logo is highlighted in the right way. I do really like the Jets jersey.
I do see what the Jets were trying to do. I think they were trying to go for a little bit of a different look since they're kind of not really branded to the Winnipeg Jets. They're Atlanta Thrashers practically, right? So I do see what they were going with, but I feel like they were a little bit too dark. Like they are definitely, I definitely am not a big fan of the Winnipeg Jets jersey out of that entire division. My favorite one is the Quebec Nordiques one. I like how they kind of took the colors of the Colorado Avalanche and put it onto the Nordiques jersey. I feel like it could have been a bit more brighter. I felt like they maybe could have went with a different variation of it, but I do like the way that they went with that one. And one that surprised me the most was the Minnesota Wild. I almost called them the Minnesota North Stars, but um, the Minnesota Wild, they did a really good job with their jersey, low key. Like it is a really nice looking jersey with the way that they have swapped the colors. And the St. Louis Blues one doesn't look the greatest out of the entire division, but it doesn't look bad. I do like that one as well. And man, if I were able to have a lot of money, I would definitely be buying a lot of those jerseys. And on to the Atlantic, which is this is a joke fest. The Atlantic. We got a lot of jerseys to talk about with this division. What do you dislike the most, and what's your favorite out of that entire division?
Oh, there's some bad ones. I mean, can you even say that the Islanders jersey is a reverse retro? Like, it's the same jersey. They just took the sleeve color and reversed it. Same logo, maybe it's a little darker blue. I mean, it's hard to tell, but like you put it side by side with their current unis and this that they've come out with, it's basically like, hey, you can copy my homework, but change it up a little bit. That's the equivalent
That's
of
what they did.
jersey.
Why didn't they go to the fisherman one?
Exactly. That's literally the question so many people are asking. Like, what the actual hell? Why?
Now, what's your favorite out of that Metro division? I'm probably guessing which one it is. It's probably either the Hartford one, Philly, or the Columbus one, is what I'm guessing.
Columbus, it's too much. Like it's a lot going on in a New Jersey. Like to me, yeah, Columbus the too much white on the top, red in the center. I
I
don't.
feel you.
So it's a nice. It's not a terrible jersey. It's a lot of people are wondering why they didn't go with the actual like the jacket or whatever the nickname is for the Blue Jackets secondary
Oh,
mascot.
Stinger or whatever.
Stinger, yeah. Like they could have maybe thrown Stinger on the shoulders. It's hard to tell from this photo I'm looking at. But yeah, the Whalers gray. I mean, you can't beat that because it's a definite throwback, and everyone loves the Hartford Whalers. Everyone misses them dearly. You know,
Everyone does.
Brass Bonanza. Like at least with this jersey, you'll hear a lot more Brass Bonanza in the upcoming season. So I think that's that's one of the more favorite jerseys in that division for sure.
I like the Hartford Whalers one. The Columbus Blue Jackets, I don't mind them. I think maybe a little less white, I would have to say. But I do remember that logo. It's like the Rick Nash days of Columbus, the days that like they were still playing like garbage, but they had potential, but they just never really took it anywhere. But Hartford Whalers, without a doubt, my favorite jersey out of the entire division. Like might take my money for Christ's sakes. Come on. And now this is definitely the definition of a pretty bad retro jersey and the Atlantic, Toronto. Did they just let a 5-year-old draw the logo or something? Like, what the hell happened? Like,
Honestly, I think they just took the most basic jersey design you could have in the history of jerseys and just took the old-fashioned blocked maple leaf logo, threw
mhm.
that on the freaking front, and they're like, you know what? Let's make this not blue and white. Let's make it blue and like a gradient gray, which doesn't even add to the jersey at all. It just like if you look, the numbers on the sleeves aren't even lined. It's like as if someone took that cheap the stuff you can like heat press onto jerseys. Like if you're just
Yeah.
buying a cheap for shinny or something, it looks like the sleeves have that kind of lettering on the like it. It does look like a 5-year-old not just designed the jersey but like made it at home and they're like, this is my school project. Here you go.
And then what the hell, Detroit? It's like they slapped their logo on. They're like, here's the little silver guys, and then boom. It's like they knew. Did they like think that no one was just gonna buy the jerseys because they're rebuilding right now and no one wants to be a fan of the Detroit Red Wings? Like I don't know what they were doing, but they just definitely deserve last place prize for this jersey right here. They were last place in the regular season, and now they do this. Like, ah, that was a bad one. What's your
Okay,
thoughts on that jersey?
I think they could have made it worse in one way. Just take away the wings and just have the wheel in the middle.
Oh God.
just the wheel in the middle of the
Just
jersey.
have like Hockey Town just like stamped on there.
Yeah.
Little wheel Hockey Town. But what's your favorite jersey to finish off the
Okay.
Atlantic?
I'm gonna okay. I'm not gonna pick Blasty because we all know that it's actually my favorite jersey because I'm super biased.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to pay money and I like if in a scenario where I wasn't allowed to buy a Blasty jersey, but I was going to buy one of these reverse retro jerseys, oh, I'm gonna buy a Predators jersey actually. I think I love the shoulder. I love how they threw the secondary old logo with like that says Nashville and then has more of like the actual like skeleton saber tooth on the shoulders. Then they have more of a, it's like their current logo, but its color scheme is like when they were more of like a silvery kind of navy blue team and then the yellow and it just it all I like it. I would definitely buy a Predators jersey.
You know what? I've always been a big fan of the Predators jerseys. I felt like that one was definitely kind of like definitely not the greatest compared to like the one that they were basing it off. Like the one that they were basing off, I actually have it like back in Chetty, but it's like it's a really nice silver. I do like that about that jersey. I felt like it could be maybe a little bit more brighter. The jersey I would definitely buy if I did have more money and instead of just buying the Oilers jersey. It's tough because there's so many good jerseys. Like I'm looking at the Boston retro one. I love that one. I would totally call up that one. Same with the Tampa Bay Lightning one. The one that I would definitely buy is probably the Hartford Whalers one. That would just be a instant classic. Get like Aho or whoever right on the Carolina Hurricanes. I would definitely probably call up that one.
No, you got to get Dougie Hamilton.
Dougie Hamilton.
Fan. You got to get Dougie Hamilton.
He's a future Norris Trophy winner. I'm
still with
calling
the
it.
Hurricanes.
If he didn't get injured, he probably would have been in contention for that Norris Trophy.
And if Ferland had stayed in Carolina, I'd say Ferland, but he went to Vancouver and then kept getting hurt. Like,
no, he's been having bad luck. But anyways, thank you for jumping on the show, Kelvin. That was a lot of fun talking jerseys. It's a lot of fun looking over the retro jerseys and seeing these jerseys come out. It kind of gives us a little bit of something to do during this COVID time that we've been in, especially when it's escalating so much. So thank you very much. Any final thoughts on the retro jerseys?
I think basically 29 out of the 31 teams really nailed it. And then there's a couple very laughable ones in there as well. So overall, the fact they did a mass jersey unveil and didn't just leave it to teams to slowly, because some teams would have waited till like the day before the next season starts to be like, hey, these are our new jerseys. Good on Adidas and NHL for doing a mass release, because as you were saying, it's tough times going on, but like this brings joy to hockey fans' faces, because jerseys are like, if you're a true hockey person, you have at least one or two jerseys in your closet. So it's something to collect and have
maybe even
time.
more. Who knows?
And I think a lot of these jerseys will continue getting pushed through past this whole reverse retro run. Like
I think so too.
Meant to be, like once they're not mandatorily have to be worn by a team. You know, some teams will toss them in the garbage as soon as they can. Detroit. But I think a lot of teams will keep them for as long as the fans are interested in buying them.
Well, thanks for being on here. The jerseys absolutely look amazing. I'm excited to actually see them in action, especially the blasting one against the Oilers. I'm definitely excited to see that, especially with maybe this Canadian division coming in. Who knows? But I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you guys all later. Adios, amigos.